and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt-out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I'm reflecting on our nature, or maybe our true nature would have been the best title for this live. Yesterday I spent a lovely day walking along the east coast of Scotland, just south of Aberdeen. It's absolutely beautiful walk that we did. And there were a couple of things I really noticed. There were a few things actually. There's something I've thought for a while about how we feel when we're in nature. You know, we're pointed to that, aren't we, a lot in terms of our well-being. You know, people are saying, you know, get out in nature, it's good for your well-being. And I've often thought, I wonder why we're pointed to that. I wonder why we feel so good when we're in nature. And I think it's really simple, actually. It's because that's when we're closest to who we really are. You know, when you think back, we don't think back, do we? But if you think about our ancestors and how they would have lived their lives, they would have been in nature a lot more, or closer to nature. You know, they would have had the shelter that they needed. There wouldn't have been these brick balls between them and nature. They wouldn't have been surrounded by tarmac roads and concrete and everything else. They would have lived in nature. And I think maybe we've become a bit disconnected from that, haven't we, with our brick houses and buildings that we live in and tarmac roads, etc., etc. And I think the reason we love it, we love being, as most people love being in nature, once they get out. So I remember my kids going through a phase of not really liking being in nature, but even they do now, in their early 20s. I think teenagers perhaps a lot less like to be in nature. Please let me know if you have a teenager who loves to be in nature. But we all go through phases of it, don't we, preferring to be not in nature. But I think the reason it's so good for us is because it reminds us of who we really are. It reminds us that we're not creatures who are supposed to live in brick boxes. I'm not advocating we all go live in a mud hut in the woods at all. But I think that's why it feels so good to be in nature. Because we feel reconnected to who we really are. Because the power that powers all of that, the power that powers you, is the same power that has nature, knowing what to do and when to do it. You know, why the daffodils know when to bloom, and you know, all the other flowers know when to bloom, and the butterflies know when to do their thing. And this morning I posted a post on social media that was full of pictures of creatures in the wild, you know, butterflies and rabbits. We've got a lot of rabbits where we are at the moment. They keep chasing each other around on the grass behind me. Well, in front of me, really. The sea's behind me, as you may be able to see if you're watching this. And I think that this idea that this essence of nature, this this amazing force is the force that runs through you is really reassuring, because you'll have noticed the thing about nature is that it's very good at sorting itself out when it's left to sort itself out. You may have noticed, like when humans interfere, perhaps not so much so. Sorry, I've just noticed that there's a giant crow just waddling across the road here. Please get off the road, Mr. Crow. So the self-writing nature of nature is a fabulous sentence. Brilliant. The self-writing nature of it all is seen all the time. So I know when I used to work with the lovely Jules and Rudy Kennard and was being trained by them, they talked about Chernobyl and how, when Chernobyl happened, human beings said nothing is going to live here for a very long time. But in actual fact, what happened was that very, very soon after it happened, I should really look up the time, shouldn't I? But very soon I'll do. Flowers started to bloom in the area where it happened, and nature was starting to recover from a nuclear explosion. I mean, that's like, wow, those flowers would be able to grow back where there'd been a nuclear explosion. So that's what we're made of too. And I think perhaps if we could see that more, if we could see our amazing, how amazing we actually are, we would spend more time in a place of joy and I don't know, we'd spend more time feeling safe, I think. That's what comes to mind right now. We'd spend more time just feeling okay, like being okay with the world, being more content, more happy, more at peace. Just knowing that we've got this same self-writing system in us that sorts out the world out there, that sorts out nature. Because we do. And it's reassuring to know that. And it feels like, I just don't know, it makes everything just feel a little bit more okay in the world. And I think we could all do with a bit of that right now. That we'll be okay, that we are okay, that we're always self-writing, that we're always coming back to our innate well-being, and that nature, that thing about nature being so good at recovering itself, that's in you too. There's a system in you that is meant to help you realign. It's meant to take you back to peace. It's meant to take you back to your innate well-being. And really the only thing that stops that happening is our efforts to make it happen, which is utterly ironic, really. I am not ashamed to say that I don't deliberately do anything for my well-being anymore. I do what lights me up in the moment. Like going for a walk, and it was a long walk, it was a 10-miler yesterday. Going for a long walk along a beautiful country path by the sea, it's just a lovely thing to do. Is it having an impact on my well-being? I don't know. Or care. I just had a nice time. But I think that's what, if everyone could see that, and I think that's why I'm a little bit teary this morning. Well, because I'm a 51-year-old midlife woman also, that is fact. that when we see that, if we can see this amazing system that's working inside us, it's always guiding us, it's letting us know how what our state of mind is, but just in this moment, nothing beyond this moment. A feeling doesn't mean you're a thing. There's no labels, you don't need any of that, because your system is going to self-write you all the time. It's going to take you back. It's going to take you back. If you're thinking a lot about it, you're not going to go back quite so quickly. So that's my meanderings about our nature today. And hopefully you can see nature outside the window. Because it's beautiful. It's an absolutely stunning day. And I'm going to get out in nature again today. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.